Welcome to The Art of Being Unstoppable, the podcast where we will go beyond the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Be part of down-to-earth, no BS conversations where we will explore hot topics on love and money, relationships and business, beauty, and who we get to be with all that shit in between. With our insights and your actions, let's be unstoppable together. Let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another podcast episode. Vicky and I were talking right before and we said, just press record. So we thought about this topic that we believe that other people can really resonate with. And it's the concept of what you don't like in others, what bothers you in others is actually a reflection of something that bothers you about yourself. And I was sharing with Vicky this crazy kind of example of this. But let's say you're watching the news and you hear that there's a serial killer and the serial killer has been going around killing and you're really bothered by that. How could people do that? How could people go around killing others? And it's like we all kind of have a little serial killer in us. If it bothers us that much and people would think, what? But I would never kill somebody. But don't we sometimes kill people's reputation when we don't like them and we start talking about them and we look for agreement that they are X, Y, and Z and we talk badly about them. And we do this in little subtle ways. No, we're not going to go around killing people, but we do when we talk badly about people, when we share things about them that other people don't need to know. We're slowly killing our relationship with them, but their reputation. And I thought this might just be something to talk about today, because what would it be like if we were mindful of that it's our own shit coming up and we don't actually have to spread the negativity. We can just be with what's coming up for us and deal with what's coming up for us instead of trying to get people to agree and spreading hate and negativity in the world.
You know, spreading hate, negativity is such a big thing that you see all the time. I mean, look at what's going on in the world around us, the election, our own prime minister. Like, there's so much, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody's opinion is right. What if it was true, right? Everybody's opinion is right. What if it wasn't about being right? And you know, I think we try to be right and we want everyone, just like you said, we want to tell everybody so that they can be on our side, so that they can agree with us. So we get that agreement. See, I am right. But you know what? What does it matter if you're right or wrong? Mm-hmm. When you're wrong, is it a chance for you to get to learn something? Like, you know, you and I are two totally different people. We live totally different lives. Like, I mean, we have a lot in common, but you have younger children. My children are all grown. We can look at things differently, but I respect your opinion and your thoughts and your feelings. I am not going to go out of my way for you to share something with me and say, oh no, you are so wrong. How are you wrong? It's your feelings and thoughts. How does that make you wrong?
Yeah, and it's really interesting, right? Because all that does is gives us immediate gratification. And what I mean by that really is you have a feeling, it feels uncomfortable, you don't like something's going on. What do? We go call up our best friend, talk to our husband, talk to our wife, talk to whoever and be like, oh my God, you're never going to believe what Vicky did. Vicky did. That is immediate gratification instead of pause. Let me look here. Okay, this really bothers me. Why does what she said bother me? Why does her actions bother me? What is going on over here with me that I give a fuck about this? Really? And there's a great book out there called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Yes. But we also then give fucks about things that don't really matter. But why? Because we're trying to get that dopamine hit that, oh, if I get agreement, man, somebody's on my side. We go through life getting that dopamine hit, getting that immediate gratification. It's all ego. It's all ego. And when we can just practice the pause and ask ourselves, reflect a little bit, why does this actually bother me? I was having a conversation with my best friend this morning, and her dad is going through cancer. And she's very big on alternative, like things that aren't mainstream, that the media is saying, no, this won't work. But she's saying, Dad, just try it. What do you have to lose? Like, they want to remove part of your esophagus and your stomach. And why not just try this? And he's like, no. I heard bad things, just completely closed off. So he has a view. She has a view. She's trying to get him to see her view, and he's trying to get her to see his view. And then they're so angry and mad because they can't see each other's view. But the other side of that is she really cares. And I started thinking about this today because I thought, this is how I feel with personal development. If you would only open your mind, if you would only open your awareness, you could have so much more freedom and ease and joy. And listen to me. And it's like, okay, what we're trying to do sometimes is we're trying to put like so much energy into a vessel that's only able to take this much in. Right. So with her dad, he's old school. You listen to the doctor, you do what the doctor says, period. That's all the energy he has. He can't receive that much energy, that much newness in his vessel that's so shrunk. Like, that's just where he's at. Yeah. And you got to just allow people to be where they're at. But we don't have to feed into it and get all worked up and angry. We can pause and kind of look within and say, why does this really bother me? What is the wish under my complaint? My wish is I want my dad to be around longer. Exactly. I want to be with him and see him healthy. And truth be told, I want to be right. Yeah. I want this treatment to work so that I can feel gratified. I can be significant. I can say, see, I told you so. So when we start looking at these things, there's nothing wrong with them. But the more we let in a new way of seeing, a new perspective, we expand. The more we expand, the more light we can receive. Yeah. The more abundance we can receive.
Yep.
And
the more we grow. Being wrong is about growing. Like, if we went around all the time being right, how are you growing? You're not, because you're always right. You don't need to learn anything. You're always right. Right? You don't need to learn anything. Right? What do you need to learn? Why read the news? Why read anything? You don't need to learn anything because you're always right. My husband and I have this conversation all the time. And for years and years, I've said to him, pardon me, when you pass away, I won't be putting "you are always right" on your headstone. I'm telling you that right now. Because it is so important for him to be right. Maybe that was growing up in a house full of children, right? And everybody had to, their voice had to be the loudest to be heard. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I needed to be right too, because I'm an only child and I usually was right. Because I had no one else to be wrong with, right? But I learned a long time ago that being right and conforming to everyone else, you lose yourself in that. You lose yourself. I lost myself in conforming to everyone else's views and opinions, and I didn't have my own. I get to have my own, and it might not be the same as yours, and that's okay. It's okay. We get to share them and be okay with where you're at and where I'm at. And if you can give me a little bit of something that's going to make me go, and take that pause and really let it in, instead of going, I know, I already know. Really, do you? Do you know?
Yeah, well, I believe when those patterns come up, those habitual ways of behaving and acting and reacting is something that we've been put on the earth to transform. And so we're going to keep getting opportunities to transform it.
Yeah.
If the pattern that shows up is I need to be right, okay, I'm going to give you lots of opportunities to fight till the death to be right, so you can actually see it, touch it, and let it go. But most people never learn the lesson. They just keep repeating it over and over instead of seeing the patterns. And one of the things that I really believe is life is all about patterns and habits. And when you see the patterns and habits that are keeping you stuck, repeating things that don't really serve you, that don't make you feel good, that don't bring you happiness and joy in your life. Yeah. It's our responsibility to start looking within to say, where's this coming from? What's the lesson here? What am I supposed to see for myself? I know my pattern is this whole not enoughness thing. I have this belief that I'm not enough. No matter what I do, I'm not enough. It's not enough. Things aren't enough. People aren't enough. And so, I mean, I literally had to lose, and most people know my story, but like a multi-7-figure business and rebuild it. Now, are you enough? And do you see that you can do this again? Do you see, like, is this enough for you now? No. Like, okay. We gotta sometimes, when we're expanding ourselves, expanding our awareness, we are going to be hit at the level of our personal awareness. So some people are thinking, oh, I have so much personal development and growth. I'm like, I could say that. I have thousands of hours training upon training and hundreds of $1,000s of investment. But what we're here to transform is going to be proportionate to our level of awareness.
Exactly.
So if you are, doing the work, you're going to be, it doesn't go away. This karma, this juju, whatever we're here to transform, it isn't just going to miraculously one day you're going to be like, that's it. I'm an enlightened human being. And I've repaired all the karma and I've done everything. And there's no place else to go. I'm at the top of the mountain. Hallelujah. No, there is no top.
No,
there is no top.
I watched this reel this morning, and it was the 3 things. And the last thing that this man said was, the third thing is, when you get to that top of the mountain, remember there's another mountain. And right? Because there is no top, and that is our growth. And we get to keep growing and get to keep learning things about ourselves, not just about others and what's going on. But when you learn about yourself and you really learn what do you really like? I've been doing a 14-day challenge with a few, 25 people. And it's been like, when I put something out there, they're like, every single person takes on something different. They learn something different, but it's learning about them. It's not about learning about whoever else is in the challenge. It's about learning about them. And you're in that challenge. And you, like you said, you have thousands of hours of personal development. And I have other people in the challenge that don't have any. That's okay, because you're still learning and you get to share little bits about you, and they do. And it will awaken every one of us in a different way. And that's the beauty of bringing people together and being able to share our message. And that's a lot of the reason why we do this podcast, is so that we can open up people's awareness that it's okay to be exactly where you are, because you're perfect, whole, and complete, exactly where you are. But you get to keep growing and learning and going up a level in your life to make it's just an amazing feeling when you get that aha moment. Like, I look for that aha moment every day, every single day, whether it's in my, I have a little jar of these, little hearts that say, I am beautiful, or I am, and I do them every day, and I love it. And I get my husband to do them too. And it's about just really looking and saying, I am okay. I am able. I am capable.
Yeah.
And I think if there with anybody else, it's always back here with me. I have a friend, or I have an acquaintance, not a friend, but I know this person, and she feeds off of everybody else's drama and bullshit. And rather than dealing with her own, and that's the core. It is, if I talk about everybody else, then you're not going to see what a shit show I am. And that's just what's so. But she already knows, so you can't tell her. She already knows. And it's sad to me, because I can see her continuing to search for something that she's never going to get, because she's not okay in here. Right? Like, I've been listening to Let Them. And Mel Robbins, in the one chapter, we were talking about relationships and single people. And when on the app, because it's an Audible, you know how you can hit that little save button, or the little where you can add a note to it? Well, I was listening in my car, so I can't add a note, but I kept just hitting, and it was the one, and I almost called you yesterday too, but it was about, we're searching, when you're single, you're searching for that person all the time, right? You go through a breakup, and it's okay to grieve. It's okay to grieve that breakup, but allow yourself 30 days, no contact with that person, so that you can work through it and not have the nervous system, because your nervous system is also used to having that person. So the two of you are together, but everything reminds you of that person. And that's the same in death. Everything reminds you of that person. It's no different. It's grieving. But if we can then take the time and work on ourselves and really see, and she said the biggest mistake anybody can ever say to somebody who just broke up with somebody, just take this time for you. Take this time for yourself. And yes, we want to say that to people because we know how important that is, but they still need to go through that grieving process before they can even look within.
Yeah. I mean, I think we started with talking about what bothers you in others is what's in yourself. And it's the pause and letting people be where they're at.
Exactly.
Like your friend that you're talking about.
Yes.
She is experiencing, she's on her own journey, and she will continue to do the things that she does. And I do believe that part of the problem why people can't see their stuff is because we unconsciously reinforce the stuff that they're dealing with. Instead of communicating, giving feedback, sharing our experience, people don't even see themselves sometimes.
No, you're right.
But afraid to help them see it. And not that they will change it or be ready to change it or anything, but if everybody goes through like it's okay, and we're never given that feedback.
No.
If one of my patterns is, I think I know it all. And everybody has this experience of me that I know it all. I know it all. And they're looking for evidence that this is true. And nobody ever tells me that that's the experience. We can't see our shit. We can't. No. We're not wired to see our own stuff sometimes unless we're like really being a stand for it. Like, give it to me. Show me the light. Show me the darkness. But when
just right now, Tina, I want to interrupt you for 1 second. Thank you for bringing me back to topic, because as everyone can obviously knows, I can go off because I have so much in my head that I just want to share. Thank you for bringing me back. Thank you for very subtly, but that, and you know that. And I always say that, bring me back when I'm going off, bring me back. You can tell me, and any listeners can honestly, I'm never take anything personally when it comes to that, because I go off because I'm like, oh yeah, right. And then this and this and this. So thank you for that. Anyway.
Well, Vicky's a promoter. Like Vicky's a social butterfly, right? So, I mean, it's all good. It's all perfect. But I hope you are like seeing this is real. It's a real conversation about just really, I think what I want to leave people with is this. If something bothers you in somebody else, look inside to see where is that showing up in my own life? Where do I struggle with that too? And I know that I had an experience on the weekend with one of the volleyball moms, and she talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. And I felt like, oh my God, I'm going to lose my mind right now. Just shut up. And I was like, pause, wait a minute here. Why does that bother me so much? That this person in front of me, her need is to feel heard, to feel validated. Obviously, she hasn't felt heard her whole life, and that's the pattern. That's what she's here to transform. She can't see it, but why am I so bothered by it? She's just speaking. And I'm like, oh, where do I talk a lot? I see it. I see it when I'm talking and I'm engaged and Vicky's talking and Vicky's engaged. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What about me? What about me? Would you want to hear what I have to say? And I know my pattern is listen to me and don't leave me. So it's funny because I had to really generate myself to be with that. And I even caught myself saying, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to do another tournament. I can't handle all this talking. Like, I need to just decompress. It's like, okay, pause. what a pleasure to have this opportunity to maybe actually transform something that she can't even see. Maybe in a very kind, gentle, loving way, I can bring something into her awareness that she has no idea is what's keeping everybody at a distance, why people walk away and don't listen and don't talk to her. She can't see it. And so when we go through life, either giving energy or taking away energy, we got to be mindful of that. When we leave somebody, are we leaving them with more energy or are we taking their energy away? Mm-hmm. Me ignoring her, being frustrated, I'm shifting my vibration. She might not be aware of it, but she feels that energy.
Yeah.
Is that how I want to leave her feeling? And this is just, I mean, we could go on and on and on about this topic because
Absolutely.
It's so big, and it really is a practice of looking within, pausing, and just being an observer of what is actually coming up with our spouses, with our partners, with our colleagues, with our coworkers. If we're really annoyed and frustrated by their behavior, their actions, ask, why do I care so much? Why does this bother me? Where is it showing up in my own life?
Yeah.
Where
so much
am
has
I
come
a
up to me when you just said all that. I was just like, yeah. Pause. And I have a hard time with the pause. I really do, especially with my husband. I have a hard time with the pause because, and that's the person the closest to you, right? I can sit and I can pause and I can wait for you. And then if you say something, I think about it. But if I react with him, and I don't want to react, I want to respond. I want to take that pause. And I know that that's a hard thing in a relationship with your husband or your partner. It's a hard thing because we're with them and in the beginning, all those little things are, oh, we love them. And then they start to annoy us. Right?
Yeah.
But
I have a shirt, Vicky. Sorry.
You have a shirt?
I have a that says, relax, nothing is in your control. And it's like everything, no control over anything that happens in life. We don't have control over the way others behave, our husbands, our wives, our spouses, what comes out of their mouth, their actions. We can't control that. All we can do is control our reaction to what's going on around us. That
and
is
the pause.
legit.
And pause. Pause.
The only thing.
Take that second to pause.
And I think this might be another good episode is what does practicing the pause actually do? Because I think we could do a whole podcast episode about the pause.
Let's record it now.
Yes. And I don't know, but I think we covered a lot today. And let us know. Let us know what you're hearing. Let us know what you're seeing for yourself. And also let us know what action you want to practice based on what you're hearing today. Because an insight is only an insight until we apply action. When we take action, that's when transformation happens. And the process of transformation is a process of just letting go of the habits and patterns that have kept us, robbed us of joy, happiness, freedom, self-expression. So happy transformation, be unstoppable.
Be unstoppable.
And practice.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Well, friends, that is the end of our episode today. If you love this episode, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another episode. And please share us with your friends and tag us on your socials at The Art of Being Unstoppable. So for today, have yourself a beautiful day and let's be unstoppable together. See you next time.